Hello, everyone. Glad to be here today. Um, I am just thankful for having the time to be here, to be on my very first podcast. I've never launched such a endeavor ever in my life, but I said, you know what? The time is now, and not because I'm saying it. I mean, the one of the biggest reasons that I'm here today is people. I wrote a book. I'm an author, and the only reason I wrote that book was people. I'm writing another book for women. Only reason I'm writing that book is for people. I wanted to kind of introduce myself. I You should see. We have a video out already talking to you all about me becoming an author, where I'm from, and I kind of like want to reintroduce myself because I'm soon to be a podcaster. I mean, I'm doing it now, and I'm crazy busy. I have so much going on. I just want you to know a little bit about me, and so as we go forward, you'll be able to say, you know what, this guy's cool. This guy's personable. But I want you to draw your own conclusion as well. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think we should be able to discover ourselves. Amen. And so I look at this and I'm like, I want to discuss the question, you know what? What if? What if? I want to look at that in everything that I do. What if? And so this might get Chris show, but our theme will be all the time. What if? Because I never want to look at things one way. Because I think a lot of times we get locked in from just seeing things one way. It's going to be this way, that way, and that's it. And it closes our mind, so we're, as people may call us narrow-minded, and I'm so far from that. And why? Because I have, great endeavors to, explore myself, expand myself. And I'm kind of forced to do that because I'm around people all my life. And so I'm like, I want to, come out and say, you know what, I want this podcast to be different. I mean, I'll listen to the experts. I listen to folks and got advice from people that, have million followers and this, that, and other. So I'm trying to curtail my program, my show, to be something a little bit different. And so, follow me, and this is going to be a great journey for you and I. I mean, I have a multitude of experiences, education. I've traveled. My wife and I were like world travels. Just recently, a few months ago, we, in Africa, in South Africa, and I had a privilege to speak to 1,100 kids. I mean, it's just, it's mind boggling on what you see throughout the world, whether you're in this country or another country, and we're, international travel. So we're all over. So I think this is a great opportunity for me to do what I'm doing and get to know you. You get to know me. Hopefully we get some call-ins and some messaging, texting, and we'll be able to answer questions and stuff. But don't be afraid to ask that question. All right, and some folks that we're going to have guests, hosts as well, and guest interviews that we're going to do and bring some expertise in. And so we just want to broaden horizons because we live in a time now we need something different. The realities of life is nothing like what you heard of from your grandparents and your mom and dad. And life is different now. It's nothing like it's ever been. Life is so different. And I want to explore those options. I think I'm the guy to do that, and so you're not knowing me, but follow me, watch me. I always tell people, watch me, watch me, watch me. Because I want you to see I'm a man of my words, and a lot of times action speaks louder than words. I'm kind of talk with my hands. I love it. I love moving my hands. I love moving my mouth. I love talking. I mean, I don't think there's a subject and I can't explore and to broaden my horizons and so forth, so on. And so as we do that, we're gonna move forward with that. Just broaden horizons and just being real, being relaxed. And I want this to be surreal and relaxing I could do a show and I can edit everything and put it out, but I want to do this without all that. I mean, you're going to see some stuff that's polished and whatever, but I want you to see me. I mean, I'm a pastor, so I'm used to being in front of people. I preach and talk and teach and lecturing, what have you, in many different formats. I'm 30 years at the Pentagon. I've done briefings to high officials and this, that, and other. So writing a book has really just changed my life because I did not know it was going to have the effect on people that is doing. So I said, you know what? I'm doing my first show, and I want it to be different. And we're going to do some things where, we'll follow, scripts, if you will, and because we want to bring points across where you understand it and I understand it, and the point's getting across. I got people, that's going to be following me, and they can't wait to get the podcast going. What really encourages me is, and I do a ton of book signings. I sell books all over. Look at social media, look at Amazon, what have you. And when we first started a couple years ago, Amazon sold out probably four times at least. And we just did our last book signing for last year in December, a week before Christmas. I sold out of paperbacks, hardbacks, just to give you a feel for that. It's not the book that issue. We'll talk about that at the end. I'll give you a quick brief about that at the end about the book and stuff. So and go from there. All right, but let me tell you about me. All right, because I think that's important. Because I think it's important to know who you're listening to. Because we listen and we take the advice of, if someone has a title, they're a celebrity, they're this, they're that, we take their advice. But look at their life and say, how is their life compared to what they live? Being an actress or actor or a singer, that doesn't modify your life. Say, this is who I am. No, we're different. You're making money, you have a different mindset. You know, I lived life. So I'm like, you know, um, so I want to share those experiences because those the people I hope will, wanting to broaden their horizon. Those are people that I'm around from probably the 90-year-olds to 15, 14-year olds. I'm talking to a whole array of people. My audience is that span, and judges, doctors, lawyers. I mean, I'm coaching a doctor now who, you know, uh, uh, she's tired of being single and looking for advice. And when you read my book, you'll understand why I could give pointers or this, that, and other. I want to change relationships too. I want to change marriages. I want to change being single and not change per se, because you don't do what you want to do, but give you advice so you could approach it in a different way, a different manner, because I think that's important. And so when you can look at going forward and doing it a little bit different. How do I, what makes me the expert? Well, I've been there, done that, and wrote the book. And so, uh, um, I think I'm an expert. I love doing what I'm doing. When I talk to people generally, they don't want to leave my side. I mean, sometimes I miss sales at book signings because people, uh, uh, they have issues, they're problematic, things are going on in their lives, whatever. And I start what I'm doing and give them that attention. So now I can push people towards this. I can get ideals, that they want to talk about and approach it in a different way where I can hit a broader audience because I've meet so many people, but it's not just one person, it's a multitude of people. I may be a black man, but it's not even by color. People are hurting black, white, Italian, German, Russian. I mean, I'm meeting all these people from Dubai, Poland. I mean, folks all over the world in the Caribbean. I mean, the list goes on, and that motivates me. I said, I think I got something. I think I can do this, and it excites me that I'm able to come forth with this energy, and I live life, so I want to give back. I want to tell, teach, and show people there's a better way. There's a what if. What if you do it this way? What if you do it that way? But let me tell you about me. I'm from Akron, Ohio, and so. Um, wasn't much to do there. So I got in a little trouble, and you're going to read some of that stuff in my book. I'm going to reference my book a lot. And then I'm doing a spin off, my next book from this book, and then another spin off because, folks are asking me to write, but my biggest reference is my first book. So I'm going to reference it a lot. And then a lot of times people can't, from literary reasons, can't, copy your style. I want to have my own style. I want my own format to be real, and everything I do say real, and all about truth. And if it's not about truth, I don't even want a part of it. I'm not here to, it's about, making my name big and great and this and that and how much money. I mean, I don't want to be the next Donald Trump or Elon Musk, and I want to be me, and they should be them. And um, I've always been comfortable. I didn't want to be Steve Harvey and Michael Jackson and Eddie Murphy. I want to be me. I admire a lot of folks, and you know, uh, um, and I just take some things here and there from different people, and that I pick up as we all do. But I'm from Akron, learned a lot from there. I know, it was a great place to grow up. I visit there, a few times a year if when my schedule permits it. But I'm travel. I travel a lot. I mean, so much is book signs. I do a galore book signs, and it's like I try to just reach on as much as possible. I try to. It's nice that we have FaceTime. We can FaceTime people and talk on the phone and so forth so on. But even when I'm on cruises and this and other, I'm going to try to do a podcast on a cruise, but we'll see if that works out as well. And but I have all these ideals, and I just want to bring different. I don't just want to talk. I don't just want to start a show and say, you know what, it's about me talking. No, I want to help folks, and I think I have the tool and instruments to do that. I think I have wisdom, knowledge, experience to do that. But judge for yourself. And when you look at it, you know what, you might say this guy's pretty interesting. But you know what? That's the one word I get from everyone. You know, uh, uh, I'm interesting. I last year was up in Amelia Island, the day before, what's his name? John Grissom. That's my wife over there, but John Grissom, he spoke the day before. We were invited to be at that book signing, and this year they're calling us back to be there again. I'm like, wow. And I think David Balducci, and so another writer and some other famous authors were supposed to be in there while we're doing this book signings. And I look out and say, wow. And it just behooves me the number of people that follow me and read my book and come in with great accolades of how the book touched their lives. I got people saying my book encouraged them. I have preachers even saying my book encouraged them to write their books and write their memoirs. And so I'm like, wow. But I never thought what I was doing would be so impactful. A lot of times we're growing up. I mean, when I grew up living in Akron, I'm like, I want to be a doctor. We dream, like we and dare to dream, but we dream. And you have to figure out what you want to do. Life is not going to wait for you. And so my path was, I had you know little beginnings. I didn't have much. I wasn't even modest. I was working since 14, but kept learning, and I kept challenging myself to do more, to do better. And growing up in school in my early years, I'm on the merit roll or the honor roll, and I won a spellings bee. So I have a little brain, let's just say that, all right? And just to couple that, as I grew up, I got accepted in George Mason's chemistry program years ago, and so I'm just giving you a light. And so I was on my way to med school to become a doctor, and so I ended up getting a degree in healthcare. Could have went to med school, but I end up going to um, I ended up becoming a pastor. And so went to ministry school through an organization called PAW, Pentecostals of the World, and I graduated as valedictorian when I finished that. But the thing is, I've always pushed myself to learn. And I'm going to reference Bible sometimes because I can't do none of this if I don't believe. in God. Some people believe in something or something else or whatever, but I have to believe in God. So I'm going to reference God because I think I wouldn't be here without Him. And you may agree, disagree, but this is my show, so I'm giving you my point of view. And I'm not going to push religion to no one by no means. I think that should be freedom of choice. And when I was, living the big life and hanging out with the at the NBA after parties and stuff like that, and I lived my life. I have fun, and then I got tired of it. I wanted more. And the thing is, I'm a preacher. I have a church, and we just moved to Florida and had a church up in West Virginia and sold that. And but I wanted more. I'm doing this, but I want to be self fulfilled, not more as in the materialistic stuff. Materialistically, I don't need anything, and so, but I do this because I have a love for people. I want to help people and hurting people. I'm not here to tell people's business. I know a lot of people's stories. I might reference the story, but not the person because it's none of our business. It's their business to, put their information out as they deem necessary. And we, take it and go from there. But even being from Akron, one of my biggest highlights in not just meeting folks like Archie Griffin growing up in school, and I thought I was going to play football, that I thought I was going to play baseball. But when I retired from the Air Force, I'm 24 years in the military, survived 9/11, 30 years at the Pentagon, retired twice at Pentagon. But I look at life. I said, wow. When I retired from the Air Force, I went to school with a young man, and he found me off the internet. Never applied for the job, and I'm just giving you highlights and without all these details. But I want you to know who I am. Around, I'm about business. I think I'm an entrepreneur, and so I call myself that because I just want to achieve more and more and more. But it doesn't define who I am. I always want more. If I have two cars, I want two more. If I got two new cars and getting older, I want two more new cars. I mean, it's just quite a life. I buy new clothes because all the clothes get old, and I don't just trash them. I donate them, and so because I still want to be a help. Even when we went to Africa, we left a bunch of clothes over in Africa to help people. And then before we left, people were wearing the clothes that we left. I'm like, wow, it is so touching. It's heartfelt. It's mind-boggling to be able to touch a person's life. And so I just think that's pretty interesting on how people react. And I'll tell you, if I didn't get the reactions that I've been getting these past few years since my book been out, and because I didn't know, I wouldn't be here today. I never thought about doing. My right hand to God, right? I never thought about doing a podcast. I, I'm like, I really wasn't into podcasts, and then I started listening to podcasts, and then people ask me, "Is your book on audio? Is your book on audio? Is your book on audio?" I'm like, "No, no, no," because there's app that you can download the ebook and app, do it. And I'm like, I wasn't interested in doing that. So now I'm like, okay, let me work on getting my book on Audible, but not because I wanted to. It's the desire of people. I'm telling you, and not that I follow people, but the only reason I'm doing 90% of what I've done these past couple of years is because of people. The motivation, the need, desire, and the facial expressions, the emotions that get involved in your being, your person. I'm like, wow, I just never thought that I had that charismatic view to be able to look at people and people deem me necessary and say they want more from me. They want me to do more of what I'm doing. And do I have enemies? I'm sure. Do I have friends? I'm sure. But you know what? You can't care if people love you or hate you. You have to live your life. That's what I want to bring to the show. And so I discuss, me being from Akron. I discuss me being retired. And the thing is, I'm retired twice. And my wife was doing cyber up in as a contract up in the federal government, and she was making more money than me. And so I was like, hey, I'm giving you one of my stories of my wife, and you're gonna hear us on the radio, but on this podcast, and we're gonna talk about it. But and these questions might come back, but she was making more money than I was making. I was making some serious money and doing cyber. I mean, she's just a brainiac doing that type stuff, and she's there for me. I mean, I don't like research. She loves research, and so we're a great team. We put our experiences together, and we're achieving great things. This is a great year because I'm like, I got this podcast. I'm telling you, I wouldn't even be doing this now without my wife because she made sure I had everything I need. Roll mics. She gave me the best of this and this, and so I just thank God for how we complement each other. And we're gonna hear about that kind of stuff as well. And I'm living the dream. We're traveling the world, been so many places. I think we took what we did the Africa trip, and then we took two cruises, last year, I think we spent a week in Cancun as well. And so we took like four trips last year. And the year before was in Hawaii for I think 2 weeks, and then we took a couple cruises and back to Cancun. We like Cancun. We like Hawaii. Been to Hawaii like 9 times. Cancun probably 10, 12 times. Cruises, it's like 18 times. I mean, this is in my 30-year marriage. And the thing is, if you look at, and that's why I think I bring so much. I'm married 30 years. This is my second one. But when you read the book and be like, oh my God, he almost killed his wife. And that was the first wife. And today we're friends, and you're gonna hear her. I'm gonna bring her online as well, because I want to bring real stuff. Because I think we can be excited about. You know what? If they could do it, I could do it. If he could do it, I could do it. If she could do it, and so forth, so on. And when you look at life, you say, what if I listened to this guy I never met? I'm not asking you to sell your first kids or sacrifice your kid. I'm just asking you to look at life just a little bit different. Look at everything you do just a little bit different. And makes all the difference in the world. People are hurting. I know that. And I'm going to bring some of that to the table because I think it's important. They're hurting, and you're going to see in my book. I was hurting so much. I thought I wanted to commit suicide a few times, and God blessed me to change my mind. And so now I meet so many people. Oh my God, that want to commit suicide. And so I'm looking at marriages. People like we don't have money problems. We don't have infidelity issues. But I'm not happy with my wife. I've been married 13 years, and I'm giving advice. I'm coaching, and coaching is broadening in what I'm doing because this time on my behalf that I give to other people, and so I help them along the way because of my past experience. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give you clinical diagnosis, if you will, but I'm here to tell you about truth. And you could get that from common people, and but I have a pool of advice to give people, and just so you can look at stuff other ways. I talked to a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter, 3 generations. You'll see a picture out there on us Instagram. And they all three of them wanted the book. The mother came in, no, the grandmother came in and said, I heard about you. And I think we're in Tampa. And she said, I heard about you. And she said, I want your book. Let me go shopping. And I'm like, books are getting low. And that's one of the times I sold out. And she said, let me get my book now. And then the daughter said, let me get a book. And then the granddaughter said, let me get a book. And then I spent at least 45 minutes talking to the granddaughter and helping her through her relationship situations. And I'm like, wow. But it's amazing at the stuff I've been doing. And that kind of stuff ushered me, pushed me to say, you know what, you need to do a podcast. Not just people tell me, I see life experiences where I'm like, I know I have to do this podcast. I know I have to be here. I know, you know what, my voice will go forth on. This is going to be, I believe it. I'm not just saying this, one of the biggest podcasts ever. And I'm just starting, and I'm trying to go on. And maybe late sometimes, but my goal is to get there. at least by 10 p.m. If I could do it early, I will, based on my schedule. I'm traveling. So I'll try to get it in there because I feel near and dear to do this. Plus, I'm writing another book right now. And and then I was working on two books at the same time, and actually three, but I'm like, I'm doing the one for the women because that one's pressing right before me. So I'm trying to get that one done first because the need seems great. And just the facial expression when I see people, that it touches me. It touches me in such a way that, you know, I need to do this. The tears. I mean, we have so many tears, so many. It's so many tears. Um, we keep Kleenexes at our table. If you ever come to one of my book signings, if you follow me on my web page, if you go to the calendar, you'll see where I'm at doing that book signing. We always have Kleenexes on our table, and that's because of the tears. We never know, men and women, black and white, doesn't matter. Uh, uh, if they're gonna cry, when they're gonna cry. People are hurting. I love people. I've dated pretty much a lot of different cultures, so I'm not about, you know, this, that, and other. I believe in love, and I teach love, and I think we've changed the dimension of what love's supposed to be, and I want to bring a reality back to that. The curiosity state and the emotional state has really changed the mindset of people. And believe me, I was a dog, and I'm telling you, I call myself a puppy dog, but you know what? I didn't treat women right. I didn't do these things. So this is my opportunity to give back, to help people to make better choices. As a pastor, my heart goes out because I'm tired of seeing women, getting knocked up, and then the guy don't act right, and da 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 da. And now they're like, "Oh, pastor, I need help. Pastor, I need this. Pastor," and I'm like, if people listen, is I'm some parts of this show, and that's a good reason why I may be coming on sometimes late because it's not for everybody. It's not going to be obscene, but it's going to be real and realistic. And so I want you to get prepared for that. And I want everybody to watch this first episode because even though I have the one out there introducing me as an author, you'll see that as a short video. It's not like this. This is my first podcast, so I wanted this one to be real and about me. And I'm like, even now in this hour that I'm coming for, I have to do the. I'm trying to get. I'm telling you, most times, and just to have some awareness, we're gonna try to be online between 10 and 12 p.m. Yeah, or midnight, and then if I could do early, I will. But that's kind of like I'm gauging my time, and I'll try to do 3 days a week. Sometimes it might be two, but my schedule's pretty hectic. Last night I taught Bible study at church Sunday. I preached at our church, and so I preach pretty much every Sunday. So I'm always on the mic, online, Facebook Live. I mean, Michael Gilchrist, Bishop Michael Gilchrist. I mean, I'm easy to find because I want you to see me out there. I want you to see me preaching. You see some stuff we got on YouTube, and I want you to know you're going to see me everywhere. And the thing is, you know what? It's going to be with good quality stuff. You can meditate, think about it. We chase the wrong things. We go after the wrong things. And I want to just share light about that, just to do it different, to give you, power. I want to empower you because you have it. You just probably misplaced it. And now we want to put it back in the right perspective so you could be the person you want to be and be happy doing it. In spite of what's going on in this world, no, you can't lose your integrity, your morals, unless you give it up. If you don't give it up, you don't lose it. Makes sense. And so that's the direction we're going. Uh, uh, um, I'm married. I'm married now, second marriage, and 30 years. And the difference between first marriage, second marriage, we're going to discuss that later. I'm not going into details. But the main difference for me is I didn't have God. I wasn't in church. I didn't have the values, morals. I did not care. And what made me not care was women made it so easy for me. I'm serious. I mean, I did not know. I mean, if you look at me, I'm a pretty handsome guy, So I'm a little older, so my wife still tells me I'm handsome. So I'm like, okay, I still got it. She still loves me. She used to model herself, and but she's beautiful. But you'll see her out there if you go to our church book page. You'll see a picture of her. Name our church, and if you're wondering, it's Higher Hope Apostolic Church, and we're located in Oviedo, Florida, and we just opened that up. So we're trying to, or not trying, but we're working to grow, build that ministry. We've been in ministry over 20 years, and now when we moved to Florida, it's like starting over. I had folks up at our church in West Virginia, so you have that, but always been above board. I'm not running from nothing. I'm not chasing nothing. I don't have to look behind me. I got God on my side, and so just know my premise is that, but I keep it real. But I'm not gonna mock God. I'm not going to think I'm bigger than God. Some of these preachers, I'm going to talk about stuff like that, and I can't believe people go to the church. These guys look out for folks' soul, and I can't believe that people follow after folks. If they have a big name, they was a celebrity. I'm going to that church. I'm going to that church. You know, there should be a decency and order about things. Trump is doing some crazy stuff. You know, and the thing is, he doing some great stuff. And it's like eating food. If it doesn't taste right, you just add a little salt to it, add a little pepper, and you press on. We're not gonna like person get in government and decide to be president. We're not gonna like everything they do. And regardless of where they're from, I've seen things that nothing really surprises me. I've seen so much, but the thing is, he done quite a few things that I'm in agreement with. He did quite a few things that I've been, in disagreement with. But you know what? Something has to be done, and we're going to discuss that too. And I'll probably have people online talking about that. I am so comfortable doing this. This is like out of this world, out of sight. I don't even have to do it. I mean, we got new furniture. I got. I tell people even on my book sign, I say I don't have to do this. I do this because I want to. I have a love for it. But I can sit in my chair, and we just got some new furniture. And when we moved down here, we left the old set, we sold it, and they're actually shipping our old furniture over to Africa. And so I met a gentleman. He brought it. I gave him a great price on it. And so I tell people I can push the button, put my feet up and chill, got the big screen, look at that. So I'm good to go. I mean, my house is really relaxing, if you will. So, but I'm not that chairperson, the rocking chair person. And I didn't work all my life and have this energy, and I just want to sit on it, you know. And so I'm here to do something different when I don't have to do anything. I'm here because I love what I'm doing. I love people, and I want people to benefit from what I'm doing. They usher me, push me, inspire me to that. There's a need for what I do. There's a need for my lifestyle. There's a need for the things I've been through, my past experiences. There's a need for it, even from my preaching abilities. There's a need for it, and lives are changing. But what encourages me? People have told me they read my book 2 and 3 times. That has, oh my God, just it's touching. It's heartfelt, and I'm like, wow, I have pictures in the back. You see me and my wife. We're like Magic Johnson, Robert Thompson, and Urkel and Judge Mathis and these guys. But God has really blessed me. And then I was so when I met Karen Clark Shear of the Clark Sisters, and she has my book. I met Jay Bolin. He has the book. I'm just excited for what's happening. I was in Jamaica, and I was just had dinner, and my waiter brought a book, and I went to the bathroom because I had dinner and I'm trying to wash my hands. Just go in there and wash my hands. This guy runs in, and you probably hear the story again, but it's exciting for me. And he said, "You selling books?" I said, "Yeah." And it made me realize you never know who's watching you. But he bought a book of mine, one of my books, in the bathroom in Jamaica. And as we're leaving, he said, "I'm famous in another way." I'm like, wow. And never imagined, but when he told me, he's with the Hells Angels. And I'm like, I watched your movie. I used to follow you guys. And that was just so mesmerizing. He brought my book in the bathroom. And I'm like, this book is just so this show is about my book. It's about me. It's about life. It's about church. It's about politics. It's about relationships, marriages, kids, sex, right and wrong. I mean, everything. And it's going to be a good ride. All right. So I have two sons, and a whole bunch of adopted kids. I have two, three grandchildren. I have two guys and little girl, baby girl. I think she's about two. Uh, um, and then a wife for 30 years, and I'm down here in Florida. I'm just loving life. I don't miss the weather. I'm from Ohio. Just moved here from had a church in West Virginia. Moved here from Virginia. Retired from the Pentagon 3 years ago. And Lloyd Austin, he was my first choice to do my ceremony. And then General Brown, I was in conversation with him. He was my second choice, and he just got relieved of his position by Trump. And so I ended up getting a two-star Marine general, and those pictures out there on social media as well, who did my retirement. And so I retired twice out of the Pentagon. So we're talking. You'll hear stories about that. I'm just giving you a short view because I want you to know who I am and learn, study me. And people I meet now, and I tell folks, I say, go check me out. I used to do ABCFG. I was a realtor, and I'm giving up my realtor's license. So I have a Virginia real estate license, and I was a top agent, so made some money doing that, and just been having fun. But I talked to this one guy. He's helping me out because we're trying to bring in some other software to help. The church, financial stuff goes smoother when we have outings with so forth, so on. But we're not gonna talk about that. But the guy told me, he said, I told him I did this, that, and the other. He said, I know, I checked you out already. So I tell people I'm easy to find. I'm not, I want you to check me out. I want you to know when I talk, listen to me. This is something you could take to the bank, and I told you, my insightfulness for it. And the thing is, since I started, coaching folks, I figured this first month, at least almost a month, whatever, we're going to, do a lot of these, so you get a taste of what I'm bringing. And then we're going to, change the focus on that and do subscriptions. And so, we're going to bring a lot, but I think it's going to be money well spent going forward. But you have to decide that, and when you get good knowledge information, it get it, go research it, whatever. But it's not going to be like my stuff. And if you read my book, it's not going to be like any book you ever read. Um, some things might parallel, but it's totally different. I had an 88-year-old man up in Fort Walton Beach. He's a juror. He does juries. He runs a jewelry store, and he said, out of all the books I bought, you're the second book I bought. And when he started reading, he came and told me. He said, your book took me. The guy's 88 years old. He said, your book took me back to when I was a kid. And he said, I just enjoy reading. He's 88 years old. And so that touched me. And on top of that, I'm just giving you stories because I want you to see, you know, uh, uh, what's happening with me, what's happening in my realm, And then another one was a 16-year girl. I was at a restaurant um, where were we? Panama City. I was doing a signing up there. And I met a waitress, not a waitress, cashier. We was talking about how my book, we're working on a movie for it as well. But she was telling me she's an actress, and she gave me her information. And the young lady came to her table and said, what's that all about? And so I gave her a bookmark. She said, it's my book. She said, I started telling her about it, and she said, I want one. She was 16 years old. And you'll see us out there as well. She has on a blue shirt, but I'm like, beautiful girl. But she was interested in knowledge, and it shocked me how young people are chasing after what I'm talking about. She said we have to get you in our schools because the stuff I've been through our kids are being challenged at rates that they don't know what they're going to do. They're making choices and they don't know why, And um, we'll see what happens. Um, we'll really see what happens. And so um, I thank God for this book. It even helped folks, uh, well, let's say for their marriages to be saved. This book, I mean, it's a point of reference when folks well to do come to the table crying like this book, me and my husband got to read it. I mean, this book, I'm telling you, the stuff that I, you know, didn't see coming is happening and it's motivating me. My book came out in February, 3 years ago, February 22. Podcast started 3 years later. And only because of the momentum that's been happening with it that we're here today, chasing, putting forth this effort to say, you know what? People need to hear this. And I'm like, wow. And I think it's important. And you're not going to hear me say it's not. From the tears that I've seen, the marriages has been saved, the lives has been, transformed because of this. And I love it when people chase knowledge. I love it when people, you know, um, want to do better just because they heard something different from my point of view. And that what if thing I think is important. And so I'm going to coin that on my show. And so that's kind of like our theme, what if? Because it's not right or wrong. It's not um, do I have all the answers? I'm not trying to have all the answers, but I'm trying to change the realities of people that live in their life and not knowing which way to turn, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to handle life. So as an author, I think my material is going to get better and better. I can't wait. I'm writing the book, and I can't wait for the book for the women to come out. My right here, I cannot wait. For that. Oh my God, it does something to me, and just to be able to put something together, and women want to read. They're teaching my book in churches, like that. I never thought I'd be saying, but I wanted to give you an overview of everything. Learning who I am, you're learning about my book. You'll go to some churches and you'll be like, this book is in this church and that church, and they're teaching this book in churches. And so I didn't know that was happening. I didn't know until someone came into me and say, my husband wants to meet you. He wants you to come and speak at the church. Like, wow. That's it's mind-boggling. That this book is changing lives, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about what I've been through, what I've done. And to tell you, for years, I was ashamed of it. Seriously, I was ashamed. I'm like, oh my God, the stuff I did. I used to meet people's women's moms, and the mom tell the daughter, this guy got a lot of women. And I was up in DC in that time, but I'm not going to give the name, but I'm like, this guy, and I'm like, sometimes, I mean, seriously, I call myself sometimes, back in the day, not now, but I was a ladies' man, seriously, literally. And you can't say that unless you really were, or you really are, and you were doing that. I mean, I could talk to you about so many relationships, and you know, um, almost you name it, you claim it. But people say, "Why is your book?" It's 600 pages, but on the typewriter it's 300 pages. They just typeset it, so it's 600 pages, but pictures are in the back, so that delineates from that number just a tad, But I said, if I had placed everything in my life in this book, it would be at least close to 2,000 pages for real. And I didn't put it. It's nowhere in the world. You know what? It's no way in the world. You know, I need someone to laugh with me. Laugh with me. Yeah. You know, and so that's a little funny. You know, and um, it's nowhere in the world I could have put. You know, the half have not been told of everything, but I'm going to talk about so much you know I know. You know, and so I've been from hanging out from the with the best of them, you know, NBA players, the after parties to the worst of them, where I'm at the gambling house with guns on the table, and I'm running the house selling alcohol and this and that. I mean, just all kinds of stuff going on. So I've been on both sides. So I bring a lot of experiences to the table. Uh, uh, um, I think it's important to share it. You know, you know when I'm dead and gone, I can't take it with me. But if my words can help someone today, you know, I don't have a format that I'm teaching. I don't have notes and stuff that I'm privileged to go off and I'm talking from the utmost part of my heart to share my experiences with you. Uh, um, you know, because I think it's important, you know, to do that. You know, and I try to take life, you know, serious, but you know, try every now and then I want to have a little fun. And every now and then, seriously, I want to smell the roses while I'm alive to smell them. I love the smell of flowers, but I only can smell so often, and then I may have to take my allergy medicine because it makes me sneeze, you know. And so I only can do so much of that. But I want to live my best life. Believe me, I worked hard. I've been, you know, discriminated against. I've been this, I've been that. I mean, I have so many facets of my life to talk about. But you know what? I never let that stop me from going forward. All of my negative issues of driving white black, as they call it, you know, getting stopped by the police, you know, and you know, at one time, I really seriously, and you'll see it in my book, I wanted to be a policeman, and I just got stopped the other day, and I was up in where were we, Sanford, Florida, and I'm like, I didn't do nothing wrong with this and other. I made a U-turn illegal, and I didn't know it was a one-way street. And the cop said, You did a U turn. And then my tail light, and I'm like, I try to keep my car up. I drive a Lexus, and I'm like, and I think everything on the Lexus, because it's a Lexus, is supposed to work. Nothing go wrong, but a light blew. So he stopped me for the tail light. And I thought he was joking for real. Lord, y'all gotta laugh with me again. It's cause seriously, just a little. You know, and so I thought he was joking. And I'm like, I was nice and calm. And he took probably 10 minutes, you know, trying to look up everything. And he came back and Officer Brown, that's his name. And I told him I'm gonna give him a shout out. So I'm doing it now. I was gonna do it Sunday at church and I forgot. But Officer Brown gave him a shout. Professionalism, you know, outstanding officer. I mean, and you know, and just so you know, I know him. I mean, the dude used to be accountant, and so we were, you know, sharing some stories, and I let him know. I said I drove hoopties back in the day, and so I try to take care of my car today because when you had to struggle through something, you learn to appreciate the finer things in life, right? And so I want to bring that mindset to you. And I shared my bookmark with him, and I have these. Where's my bookmark? Um, and I'll tell you, if you see me, you met me, I pass these out everywhere I go, like everywhere. And I gave him a bookmark. It has all my social medias and websites and stuff like that because these things are so valuable. And then the back reads, you know, um, and I say this, I coined the phrase from bad boy to bishop. Cause that's kind of like who I am. I'm telling you, I'm not showing off. I'm not proud of some things I did, but I'm not ashamed of it. That's a difference. And then it tells you how the book is. The back of it says drama, inspiration, and a love story. So I have that romantic touch too, because that's how I achieve my wife, and that's another story. We'll get into that because you got to know what works, because everything's not working, and when you look at what people live in their relationship, And I try to bring that to the forefront without going in depth with my wife and I situation, but you're going to learn some good pointers that may help you. You don't get to 30 years and it's not nothing. But getting back to this, and then it says the story, it covers September 11. I was at the Pentagon that during that time. I didn't retire till 2004. September 11 happened 2001. And I came from dysfunctional family, chasing women, infidelity, lying, stealing, gambling, and attempts of suicide. So all that's on the back. And so I talk about it. I'm not ashamed of this. It says a must read. Major warning. This is a warning on the back of my book. And it's not what you're thinking. Get out of there. Don't think that. Major warning. The major warning is this book has changed and affected many lives, right? And in the words of most, right? People are telling us, and that's what's on the back. In the words of most, I don't know if you can snap a picture of it and read it later, but in the words of most, I can't put it down. Get your copy of that. And so that's what says. So I was sharing this with you. If you meet me, you're gonna get one of these because I give these to everyone. Because I'm like, I want you to know me. I want you to know me. I want you to know, follow me, whatever. Because people are searching for answers, but don't know where to look. People go to church, but they're not getting fulfilled. And I'm like, come and check us out. If you want the real deal, come and see us. And we don't want people to come just to build numbers. We want to build a quality church. I don't care about growing. We started down here with no people, and so now we're getting the visitors and stuff like that. I don't care about that. I do this because what's inside of me is not about people. So whether I promised God when I became a preacher, I said, you know what? I'm going to preach the gospel, no matter if I'm preaching to 5 people or 500 or 5,000. I promise God I'm going to preach. So if you show up and you came to our church, Higher Hope Apostolic Church in Oviedo, Florida, you're gonna be like, this guy is lost his mind. I love God. Seriously. I love life. I love my family. And if you're not gonna do it right, why do it? If you're not gonna stand on truth, then where you stand on? I've been a liar. I've been a thief. You know, I've done some terrible things. But you know what? I love the truth. I'm different because of the truth. I don't have to placate, what I want to do, what I want to say, who I am, because I want the truth. Nothing but the truth, the whole truth. And I think that's important. Met so many people. I'm hoping some people come down from my last church we had from up in West Virginia, and you never know. I might open up my eyes and see them right in the audience, and I miss those people, that I used to preach to up there, and but we end up selling our church up there, and now we're down here trying to, make a go at it. We're renting now, and so until God open up other doors, greener pastures, and so forth, and I'm telling my wife, I said maybe somebody might even give us a church. And so you just never know how God's going to work and move and stuff like that. Elon Musk might look at this show and say, you know what, I want to build this guy a church. You never know. And so he got so much money, he's not going to miss it. I'm telling you. And if he do it, so be it. If he don't, so be it. Life goes on. I don't have my hand out. I don't believe in begging. Whether I'm at church or not, I believe in teaching on how to give. Believe on being good stewards. I'm the kind of guy. If our church did a mail out and envelopes came back, I would go inside the computer or have when I had the secretary delete all the addresses so we don't waste stamps of church funds. I worked on president's budget for 20 plus years. The Clintons, the Obamas, and what's his name, father, son, Bush, the Bushes. So I worked through several different, I think 8, 9 different administrations. And who was it? I think Clinton signed my uh, um, retirement when I retired from the Air Force. Clinton signed my retirement order, and then when I retired from the government, I believe it was Biden, President Biden signed it. And so I'm like, no, if it wasn't Clinton, it was Bush, the son. And who signed my Air Force retirement? getting the names, but I have the certificates and stuff like that. I don't have to prove that, but I have them, so it's done. I have a big uh, 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 flag thing that they gave me as well, and so the flag that was flown, over the Capitol and so forth, so on. And so I think it's beautiful. It's nice memento. Let me show them to them, and so um, I'm like, I have quite a bit of things to be excited for, and to be pleased about, and so I don't mind sharing that, So my wife has handed me this, but I have this for when I was in, I don't know if you can see the whole thing from that direction. So I have the flag, and so that was that, and then you know eagles are something that I'm into. I collect, and so when I retired from the as a civilian, I had one of these from when I retired. Is made of wood, walnuts that they put together, and then this one when I retired from the government as well. So I have my mementos and stuff like that. I put up, and so I just wanted to share a couple things with you who I am, where I've been. I got some certificates on the wall from counseling courses that I've had, and so I want to do this thing. And then I have another one I got from Africa when I spoke over there and other things that we've done. So I'm like, this is amazing. I love what I do. I'm serious. I am full of life. I love it because, people didn't make me, or they don't make me be who I am. And I want to relay that to everybody. I want everybody to know who they are. This is the Mike Gilchrist show. So, I want you not to forget me, but spread the word and tell people you got to see this show. This dude's real. And I'll tell you, the way they teach podcasts, they like, you should do it this way, that way. I don't tell you, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really follow instructions like that. I don't follow after this person, that part. If I don't follow people, I wouldn't have wrote a book the way I did. I didn't have ghostwriters and this and that, and I didn't write a bunch of outlines. And I put my heart to it, and I started writing. Everyone has a different format on how they want to teach you to write a book. So we may touch base on how, and I may do a show just on how I got started to do what I'm doing. Because people ask me about my book, and I discussed it several times, but this is the book. It's called Unworthy, Chosen, and Forgiven. But this book, I sell, I'm seriously, 90% of my book without people opening it up just because of the title. Unworthy, chosen, and forgiven. For real. I met mothers who sent my book to people in prison, their kids in prison, just because of what it looks like. And it's not even about prison. But I tell people I was breaking free from life. I wrote this book. I was unworthy. I went from unworthy to forgiven. And so that's beginning and end of the whole thing. And the change, I was breaking free from life. I didn't want to kill myself anymore. I wanted to live. And so that's what this is all about. My book is available. If you want it. I was at the my wife and I, we had eye appointment today, and the guy that worked there wanted my book. And like, I want your book now. And the thing is, it's available at Amazon, Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, Walmart. So and I know Friday they doing that blackout thing, so they not buying stuff. But you know, put it on your list to buy this book. And you're not going to be disappointed. And it's just, and I'm saying this from words I got from so many people. And so that gets a couple of people that's on the fence, and it says average, yeah. But the majority of people, at least 90%, tell me I have an awesome book. I could take that. I keep selling out. I could take that too. Uh, uh, um, my numbers are going up on social media. I could take that too. So I appreciate you guys, the audience, taking time to get this out. We're going to get this on Spotify as well. I'm trying to learn all this stuff. All this stuff is like really new for us, but we're going to get it there and go from there. Tomorrow, I like to tell people what I'm doing because, we'll be up at Amelia Island. I have a book signing to do up there on Saturday. and so we arrived Friday, and and then we're home Saturday night, and then I preach on Sunday on church, and then Sunday night we're headed to Columbus, South Carolina. I have a book signing there, Monday through Thursday, and then if you go to the website, you'll see the information out there. And then it's coming to South Carolina. And then the latter part, I belong to a church organization called AFFI, Apostolic Faith Fellowship. And so we're being fellowship there. My wife has to preach that Friday, and I have to do speaking on a panel, yeah, that Friday as well. And so much to do. I mean, we're we tried to slow down for all of January and most of February, and even in that we've accomplished so many things and started a podcast. So, but we finally got most of the boxes, like 99, put all the boxes unpacked at our house. So we did that. So this I want to bring you me. This is who I am. I want to be truthful about my life. I want people to know I'm alive. I'm a real person. You could touch me. You could shake my hand. I give autographs. My wife and I was at Red Lobster, and the waitress came up, couple waitresses, and they wanted my autograph, so I gave my autograph. It's exciting when people get excited about you. We were at Chipotle on another day, and the lady ran out the restaurant just to get a picture with me in the book, and so it's amazing. People bring me books that they already gotten and said, "I just want you to sign it. I want to take a picture with you." So I do this because I love people. Some people don't want to give you autographs. They don't want you to take pictures, but they wouldn't be who they are without people. And I never want to think, and I want y'all to watch me, hold me to this, that I'm better than the next person. I want you to know that I am true to the core. I am who I am, and my words mean something. I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate about love. I'm passionate about relationships, and I'm passionate about the truth. I'm passionate about religion. It's just so much I'm real about, and I'm not doing this show just to you know, be here. I'm going to bring substance, and some may be challenging, but I'm going to bring it. And some may be disagreeable, but I'm going to bring it. But what if I'm right? What if the path I'm on is right? What if you've been doing it wrong? Isn't that amazing? I tell the story, and I want to give you this. I'm about to leave, but I got a couple minutes, and I'm on my own time. So praise God. I work for myself, and I'm on timelines and stuff. But I met a lady when I was a pastor up in I had a church in Virginia, and before we moved to West Virginia to get an actual church building, and so this lady called, and she yeah, I like to give stories because I want you to know how real I am, and I encounter these things, but people do the darndest things. It would amaze you of stuff that people do and have the audacity to do. Yeah. And I was talking to the lady, and she's Hindu. Her religion's Hindu. We're Christians, Pentecostal and what have you, apostolic. And I said, do you have a church? And that's when I found out she was Hindu. And I have a ton of stories. So you're going to get a story, all right? But these are my life experiences, and I can't make this stuff up. It's like I have so many stories. It's like wow. But anyway, and she was low on food and wanted the church to help her. And I asked her, she have a church? She said, I'm Hindu. And I say, we're Christians, and we talk a little bit about church, but I have a ton of stories. So get ready. All right. And um, I said, okay. I say, have it ever crossed your mind? Or we back to the what if thing. That God is trying to point you in a different direction. And she said, huh. She said, have it ever crossed your mind that God tried to push you to our direction? I said, well, you're the one that need help. So that was the point she hung up the phone. And so it's just sometimes, people say some amazing things. And I have a ton of stories I'm going to share. And some are funny, some are not so funny, and some are cool. Some, I'm surprised I still remember them, but it is what it is. My life is pretty transparent. I'm pretty like mobile because we're always going, and I'm getting great information because I'm telling you, I tell people, I say, I feel like the Black Dr. Phil when I'm doing book signings. Dr. Phil, they talk to him about, pretty much everything. But that's kind of like how, my life is. I get everything from women being abused, from guys being abused, the jail stuff, the what happens in the bedroom. I mean, I get pretty. I'm like some is surprising, but I'm going to share some of the stuff with you as well, and hopefully to help you on different topic and segments and events that we're doing, and maybe in the future, we could do a podcast bigger at different locations and we'll look at people inviting us out to do things and bring it. But you know what? This is going to be pretty dynamic and surreal because people could do the surreal shows, but I don't think they're really you know real. When you got cameras, when you have cameras looking at you all the time, you don't do things all the way. It's like if I had to sneeze, I mean, I would just sneeze and say, "Excuse me," because it happens, right? But you can't really. I don't think I don't unless I don't know how I can't really mute that, but I don't want to mute it, and because people sneeze, if you sneeze, sneeze and press on, we'll move on, and I haven't learned how to mute this type stuff yet. But you know what? If I get a chance, because we do have to leave, you know, tomorrow it's about 3 o'clock now, but and we have some time. But if I get a chance, I would try to come back on to give you a bonus because I was trying my hardest to do 3 shows this week, because I think it's important to have content. I think it's important to for me to be out here, and I'm not always going to talk about me, but I may interject me and things I'm doing uh, to you as we go forward. Like I said, I have a church out there as well, so you can follow me on that as well. I do Facebook Live on Our Hope Apostolic Church, and um, so you see me, I teach. I mean, you're going to see me in so many different formats and stuff like that. But my goal is bigger than this, and so I'm not going to share everything now, But it's like I'm trying to get to that next level, next level, next level, because I have once to live, one time to live, and when I'm gone, I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave an impact, and so I don't just do this stuff for. Um, um, just to do it. I know my life is touching many lives. I know your life will be changed just by our interaction together and how, we've been brought together in this format. I think, I tell people at church, I say, I think people will start moving to Florida, because they want the realness. I mean, we've been deceived as a people so many ways from our government, our police force to our teachers to um, um, pastors and leaders, and and it's time to, I think, to be accountable. Not I'm not here to pass judgment, but when you hear the truth, you could decide for yourself on how to do it. Like, what if? And I want you to remember, what if I'm telling the truth? Yeah. And when you figure that out, you're like, wow. And I share this, I have a ton of friends that's watching this, but I'm sharing so much in even the intimate parts of me out here, and I just want to continue to do what I'm doing. I want to continue to be real, be fresh, and not throw shade. I'm not here to throw shade, anyone. I'm not here to dismiss anyone and to push myself up. And the thing is, why am I like that? Because I've achieved as much as I possibly can. I've been at the pinnacle of my life in the workforce when I was working. I made it to the Pentagon. Never thought I'd be working at the Pentagon. Thought I was going to be a doctor in a hospital, in an emergency room, or OBGYN. Those are two areas of specialty that I wanted to get into. I'm fascinated with the body, the physical anatomy and physiology of the body. I'm fascinated. I love the chemistry side of how everything works and so forth. So I love the anatomy and then the biology of it as well. And think we're pretty dynamic. The stuff we could do and how we're created. Do you believe in the Bang theory or creation? And so people have a lot of different mindsets. But what if the Bible's right? What if you know you change your mind and it works? And I meet so many people, and I'll tell you, even from a religious standpoint, I would have changed my religion if I didn't know as much as I did. But I tell people that try to convince me, I say I've seen too much to know that I to think to move from where I'm at. Once you hear the truth, it sets everything else apart. I'm not chasing nothing else because I know the truth. I'm not moving. And everybody will feel that way for what they believe in. But the truth makes a difference on everything else. Life and how you look at it, how the trees and the birds and the sky, just nature itself. I've been some places I say, oh my God, it's just gorgeous. There must be a God because man can't do this. And so just put things in the right perspective. But remember what if. As we begin to close, I shared my book, so I wanted you all to take part in that as well. All right, so we was on for just over an hour, and I've shared everything with you that I could possibly share about myself at this time. People have questions, please put them in comment sections, and we try to get back to you on that as well. All right, and this is Mike Gilchrist. I about to log out, and I just think we can do better, no matter what it looks like, and there's hope for all. God bless you.